During his long and storied history of abusing our judicial system, Donald Trump has relied on a veritable who's who of creeps. Now that the former president has lost his pardon power, I asked legal experts if the nightmare team might finally face consequences.
He was once America's mayor. Now he's the attorney who tried to overturn democracy. There were the fact-free, error-filled, frivolous lawsuits.
Clearly voter fraud.
The bizarre, easily disprovable claims during sweaty, fever-dream press conferences. The potential incitement to armed insurrection.
Let's have trial by combat.
And worse, the mid-testimony flatulence.
They didn't bother to interview a single witness.
Now, this congressman has called the law on this so-called lawyer.
People like Rudy Giuliani need to feel consequences.
He's asked New York to yank Rudy's law license. It's the case of democracy insanity v. Gargamel and Armani on today's edition of the People's Court.
Thank you for taking the time from fighting a vampire lawyer to speak with me.
No problem. It is a part of the job of being a member of the United States House of Representatives these days. You've got to fight enemies both foreign and domestic.
And nocturnal. I think I speak for all of my audience when I ask the question, how is it possible that he is still a lawyer after everything he's done?
It turns out the legal profession is one of those professions where you can be a terrible person and still thrive professionally.
It's just like comedy.
Indeed.
Jones is a Harvard Law grad. He and Representative Ted Lieu formally requested that the New York State Bar revoke Rudy's law license. On what specific points would you have him disbarred, other than, like, leaking a mysterious substance from the side of his head on national television?
In our letter to the New York State Bar, we cited seditious conspiracy, rebellion or insurrection, and inciting a riot. We also noted that Rudy Giuliani is under at least 2 federal investigations.
And that's not to mention his other behavior, which alone should be cause for disbarment, as established by the precedent of Smelted v. Delta. With all of that, it's going to be easy to disbar Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, it's very hard to disbar a lawyer.
David Luban is a professor of legal ethics with a side hustle in killing buzzes. He says the road to disbarment might be rockier than you'd think.
So, like, mostly this discipline system isn't designed for, let me just call it weird stuff.
No, by weird stuff, he means political stuff.
The prosecutor's offices desperately want to avoid political cases. When they're brought, they generally just disappear.
So how is it supposed to work? What does a golem have to do to get disbarred around here?
You know, spreading lies, misrepresentation, incompetence.
I mean,
frivolous litigation.
Everything you're saying is what he did and we all saw it. Okay.
Yeah.
What about inciting a coup? Is that on the list of no-nos?
Well, so if he gets convicted, that would be an instant, mechanical disbarment.
Yay, justice!
But somebody is going to have to indict him first, and then there will be a long, drawn-out criminal process.
Yeah, you get the point. A criminal case will take forever. Rudy might not be convicted, and it will all be in black and white. But more voices are now joining the call to disbar Rudy, seen here watching himself in Borat 2. So, could disbarment happen?
Like I said, usually this is a system that's not set up for political cases. But this was a really big deal. I don't think a bar council could just say, no, this is not for us. So if they go forward on it, I'm confident it would lead to disbarment.
Yes, it's finally going to happen.
But am I confident that they go forward with it? That's where there's a lot of uncertainty. They're just not
good enough. Rudy isn't the only lawyer who might eventually become a non-lawyer over the election cases. The city of Detroit has filed a motion seeking to disbar Kraken lawyers Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood. Mondaire Jones says that's not sufficient.
These people need to be shamed in every corridor of public life. They are not entitled to honorary degrees.
Yes.
They are not entitled to being members of country clubs. They are not entitled to not be harangued.
Currently, Dominion Voting Systems is haranguing Sidney Powell with a massive defamation suit, and they're now targeting Rudy as well. But perhaps the toughest blow, the New York Bar Professional Association may revoke Rudy's membership, meaning he'd lose his sauna privileges. And as for Mondaire Jones, what's next for him? Could this escalate to even more sternly worded letters?
I am all for writing letters, and especially if the result is going to be altering the daily lives of truly terrible people who were trying to overturn a presidential election.
Case closed. Coming up, Ted Cruz molted on their front porch. Now they want damages. That's on the next People's Court. Aw, thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more from Full Frontal, hit subscribe and visit our page for more videos. Or if you'd like to be radicalized, leave YouTube on autoplay.